Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking an event that is just as deeply tragic as it is incredibly complex. On Saturday, August 1st, 2026, a routine sightseeing flight over one of the absolute most famous archaeological sites on the planet ended in disaster, claiming the lives of 13 people. But today, we are just going to recap what happened on that fateful afternoon in Peru. We're going to dig into the reporting to really understand the massive systemic forces at play here.
Section 1. The lure of Nazca and why tourists visit. Because to truly wrap our heads around the gravity of this event, we really have to look at why international travelers are flocking to this remote stretch of the Peruvian desert in the first place.
UNESCO actually calls the Nazca Lines among archaeology's greatest enigmas, primarily because of their quantity, nature, size, and continuity. And they really are. We're talking about monumental geoglyphs scraped directly into the desert floor, dating all the way back to somewhere between 8,200 and 700. It's like a giant, ancient canvas of intricate hummingbirds, monkeys, cats, and these massive geometric shapes stretching for literally kilometers. But here's the catch, and this is absolutely crucial to our story. Because of their enormous scale, these awe-inspiring etchings are only fully visible from the air. You simply cannot appreciate them from the ground. You have to fly.
And the demand to do exactly that is just staggering. Peru is a massive global tourist destination. To put it in perspective, in the year 2025 alone, over 4.1 million tourists visited the country. With that kind of sheer volume, the demand for aerial tours over the Nazca Lines goes through the roof. People are traveling from literally all corners of the globe just for the chance to witness this UNESCO World Heritage Site with their own eyes. But that intense, non-stop demand sets the stage for what ultimately unfolded on that Saturday. Section 2. The tragic flight, August 1st, 2026. Let's break down how this happened, because it was an incredibly short and just devastatingly fatal journey. At approximately 1 p.m. local time, an Aerodiana Cessna Grand Caravan took off from the nearby city of Pisco. The mission was completely routine: take a group of tourists up to see the lines. But just minutes into the flight, the aircraft lost all contact with the control tower. By 1:20 p.m., which is barely 20 minutes after they took off, the plane crashed into a field in Pueblo Viejo. The situation on the ground was immediate, and there's no other word for it. It was devastating. According to police statements and local media on the scene, the wreckage was almost instantly engulfed in severe flames. And this intense fire completely prevented any kind of rescue effort. First responders, firefighters, police, they rushed to the desert site, but there was simply nothing they could do to save anyone on board. And tragically, this happened just 12 kilometers away from the breathtaking Nazca Lines themselves, and only about 4 miles outside the city of Nazca. Behind all these timeline markers and crash coordinates, we have to remember the real people who traveled the thousands of miles to witness history. Part 3. The victims. 13 lives lost. So the heartbreaking reality here is that a total of 13 people lost their lives, leaving absolutely no survivors. 11 of those victims were foreign tourists. And we also need to respectfully recognize the 2 Peruvian crew members who were operating the aircraft, pilot Americo Salazar Quiller and co-pilot Arinka Guanilo del Carpio. When we look a little closer at who was actually on this flight, the global pull of the Nazca Lines becomes painfully clear. Among the passengers were 7 Italian citizens, ranging in age from 18 to 54. There were 2 Germans, aged 77 and 78, who authorities believe were a couple traveling together, and 2 52-year-old Spanish nationals. These were people from all walks of life from right across Europe, brought together on that one specific aircraft by a shared curiosity to experience a wonder of the ancient world. But as investigators try to figure out the immediate cause of this specific crash, zooming out reveals a really uncomfortable truth. Part 4. A history of danger. It's a recurring tragedy. You see, there is a chilling frequency to these fatal sightseeing crashes over the years. This wasn't an isolated incident. Back in April 2008, a crash left 5 French tourists dead. Then 2010 was a particularly deadly year, with 13 people dying across 2 entirely separate crashes. That included 4 British tourists in one incident, and 3 Chileans and 4 Peruvians in another. Fast forward to 2022, another crash killed 7 people, including Dutch and Chilean nationals. And now, in 2026, we have 13 more lives lost. So we're looking at a recurring systemic failure here. Which brings us to the core conflict at the heart of this explainer: high tourist demand versus the actual safety reality on the ground. Because the lines can only be seen from the sky, hundreds of thousands of those millions of annual tourists actively seek out these overflights. And to meet that kind of massive demand, several local operators are aggressively competing with one another. This fierce competition has continually raised very serious, well-documented concerns about the safety standards and the maintenance of the aircraft they're using. It is a highly pressured environment where the intense drive for tourism revenue is colliding head-on with operational safety.
So, where does this leave the aviation industry and the local community right now? Section 5. Aftermath and Investigation. The fallout from this has reached the absolute highest levels of the Peruvian government. President Keiko Fujimori publicly expressed her regret over the accident and notably stated that, quote, "A temporary suspension of the airport is being considered pending comprehensive reports from the relevant ministries." At the same time, the local municipality of Nazca has emphasized that oversight falls to aviation authorities, who are right now working to determine the exact causes and, crucially, to assign liability in accordance with the law. And that leaves us grappling with this final, incredibly vital thought. The Nazca Lines are this irreplaceable piece of human history. They are a testament to ancient ingenuity, and they absolutely deserve to be seen and studied. But as the data and the history show us today, accessing this global heritage carries a documented, repeated risk. So how can we balance preserving access to these wonders with the absolute necessity of ensuring human safety? It's a heavy question that officials, tour operators, and honestly, even us as travelers, need to seriously ponder before stepping onto the tarmac. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep asking the important questions.